questions for media days. What would you ask the SEC head coaches? Is the question of the day here. If you had the utmost opportunity to go and discuss with a Kirby Smart, a Kalen DeVore, Alex Gullish, whoever you would like, what questions would you ask the head coach of either your respective team or another team in the SEC? You could do that on YouTube at Off the Bench CFB Show and on Facebook at Off the Bench.
Assume that the coach has to be honest.
Yes, if the coach, well, I mean, they're going to have a pre-record. They're going to have a script.
I know, but they're going to
give. The goal is to get the script out of them and move to other things.
Okay, the question should be the better question. Not if you're at media days and you get to ask them. You get to find Kellen DeBoer at the bar after, and you're off the record,
right?
And you could actually ask a question and get a legit answer. What would you ask?
How do you plan to combat the running game at Alabama?
Ooh.
I mean, I'd have to hit on running game for Alabama. It'd have to be that. And I think that's the glue to the entire team that's been missing the last couple of years is a running game.
You asked that over starting quarterback, over...
Yeah, I think it's already said. I think there's not a bad decision quarterback.
Okay.
Mack or Russell, either way, you're going to have the best backup in the country. One of the best backups in the country. And on top of that, you're going to have a darn good, talented quarterback who's starting. I think it's kind of already answered.
Okay.
Running back, we still have questions about. Okay, so as we get into it, I will go team by team, and these are the questions that I would ask for each coach.
Okay.
On the surface, and these are pretty raw questions. I didn't go too deep into them because there were so many. For Alabama, who is leading the quarterback competition? And can Alabama repair its run game?
Yeah.
Those are the two questions I would ask. I think the defense is kind of set in stone. There's a lot of talent on there. You just have to figure out where to put the guys. Quarterback position, it's definitely a big question mark, but at the same time, that question mark is going to be answered pretty effectively.
I would even go a little bit different.
Okay.
If the season was to start tomorrow,
right?
Are you 100% confident with the decision you've made at starting quarterback?
I think either way you can be confident in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but you could be. Both guys are great, but
like,
as a coach, am I 100%
for the team? What best fits the team?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's how I would ask it. If the season started tomorrow, and you had to have you've got to turn in your piece of paper as to who the starting quarterback is. Are you 100% confident with that decision?
Right.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, for Auburn, Alex Gullish here.
Mm-hmm.
What is the minimum acceptable record for the Auburn Tigers?
6-6.
You think minimum in Alex Gullish's first season, 6-6 can be acceptable? These fans are hungry, and the problem with Auburn is they expect more than they should.
You said acceptable. Auburn, it's 15-1's not acceptable.
That's the deal. Auburn is not this glorified national championship history. Well, they are now with all the added ones they had last year, but in reality, they think that they should be competing for a national championship every 4 years. It's not the case with Auburn.
Auburn thinks they should be competing for a national championship every season in every sport, and the last time they did so has been a minute.
Yeah. I'd also ask, can Byron Brown succeed in the SEC?
I think the answer is that, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the most capable quarterback at doing so. The issue with Byron Brown is because the spring game, he did terrible. It was actually very, very similar to the Cam Newton spring game that he had with the Auburn Tigers. So I would think that Byron Brown is going to be immediately, his legs are going to take over in the games. Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of people say about Byron Brown is he's a very mobile quarterback. His talent really isn't passing the ball. He's going to run all over you. So in the spring game, nobody really got to see that because they can't tackle the quarterback. You can't touch the quarterback, and they really don't want him moving that much.
Yeah, and does he get scared and run, though?
That's the issue. I mean, you have to have the offensive line. If you're going to have a running quarterback, you have to have an acceptable offensive line. And with Chris Kaplovic, I think that's terrible. That is not what Kaplovic does. So, I mean, we're going to see what Auburn. Georgia, here's the question I'd ask for Kirby Smart. Has Georgia lost any of its championship edge?
Ooh. I like the way you worded that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because are they still hungry?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's one thing to have a great team.
Like, and don't get me wrong. Like, the feeling that I have from Georgia fans right now, they're just not, like, when Kirby was first there, when they were in that national championship era, when they had won so much. I mean, Kirby is supposed to be the next Nick Saban. That's out the door. He's not going to have that type of success in this era. But the problem is now is I just don't hear that from the fans.
It's almost,
and that's the problem you're going to
Here,
have with a multi-time championship winning coach. They're just not as hungry as they were.
Same could be said for Ohio State.
Yeah.
That could be, I know that our Hoosier buddies in the chat, is Indiana still that hungry? Are they still willing to go out there and put in the work that needs to be put in to go 16-0, to win a national championship? It is LSU that hungry?
Look, and don't get me wrong with Indiana. Like, I think Cignetti's a phenomenal coach. Yeah. I think he truly represents what I would represent as a head coach.
Yes, absolutely.
He is the way he handles things, the way he coaches, how he's willing to adjust, just like Nick Saban did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you ask Saban, you know, what would he have done earlier in his career? He would say, this is an actual quote from him. I used to run a show called the Johnny Ballpark Frank Show on in Jock Huntsville. And he had the opportunity one time to ask Saban, what would you, at media days, what would you have done? What would you tell your younger self? And Saban said to run the spread from his beginning of his career.
Yeah.
And so Alabama, you know, Nick Saban was one of those guys who was willing to adjust to the game, and he did so. He got to a point where he didn't want to adjust, but he did adjust when he needed to throughout his career, and eventually that led to the spread offense. So, you know, I do want to go back to the Georgia question here. I just don't think that the edge is still there. Indiana, I think no matter what, I think they are going to be consistent, but I don't think they're going to live up to the expectation what a lot of people have set for them. And the expectation is that Cignetti's the next Nick Saban. And that is just not an accurate statement to any parts. Come back with 2 more national championships and we'll talk. Right now, it's just not the
come back with 2 more.
Living with is you're setting these expectations so high for Cignetti that, you know, right now they want to build a statue for Cignetti already. But I think it just speaks to the program of what they're all about when it takes so little to get a statue there.
Yeah.
They just don't have that higher end. And I know this statement probably sounds terrible, especially to an Indiana fan, but they don't have the top part of the program, the athletic director. If they're already talking about a statue for 1 national championship, that's not where you should want your program to be.
We can't talk. We put a statue up after his first.
After Nick Saban's first?
Yeah.
I retract my statement. I'll live by what it said, but I retract the statement. Okay. Steve Sarkisian of the Texas Longhorns. Is 2026 a national championship or bust season?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think Sid, or not Sid.
That may be
Sark
the easiest.
Is going to go somewhere. I think he's going to go to the NFL.
I think that's the easiest question you've asked so far.
This is Arch live or die right here.
Because Arch is going to the NFL.
Yeah, and the question is he going to be an early first-round pick or a late first-round pick right now? Because I think somebody takes that shot.
I think he's a top 5.
It depends what kind of season he has.
Okay.
You know, is he Superman? Is he going to be the Superman that everybody thinks he is, or is he just an average quarterback?
I don't think he's an average quarterback. I think he's headed to New York. He may not hold the trophy up, but he's headed to New York.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's fair. He could be in the Heisman race.
Okay.
LSU. Did Sam Levitt immediately lead a championship contender?
Can he? Yes. This season, given everything they got in front of them, no.
So if you don't know, Levitt kind of gave up on his team last year at Arizona State. You know, so if LSU were to go deep and say, if LSU is sitting toward the end of the season with 4 losses or 3 losses, and you're sitting in the face of a 4th loss, I think Levitt gives up and he starts preparing for the NFL.
Could very possibly be.
You know, so especially with his injury concerns, Levitt's a very good quarterback, but I just don't know if he is that type of quarterback to have that mindset and go compete for a championship when it's needed, even when his team is down in the dust early in the season.
Is he hungry?
Right. Yeah. The question is always, is he hungry?